Get ready. Something profound is happening with humanity. Do you feel it? Every day, technology is advancing at a speed we can hardly keep up with. Artificial intelligence, social media, hyperconnectivity. Everything seems to be pushing us toward a future of infinite possibilities. But are we truly in control? Or are we being swept into an uncertain destiny? The ancient Shaolin monks believe that whenever humanity reaches a breaking point, an inner call arises, a call to awaken, to return to the essential. And that's exactly what's happening right now. Master Shaolin Shi Heng Yi warns, we are at a decisive moment. If we don't find balance between the external world and the inner world, we risk losing ourselves completely. But there is a path, and those who understand this message will hold the key to navigating this transformation with wisdom. Stay with me until the end, because what I'm about to share could change the way you see the future and your role within it. For centuries, the Shaolin monks have lived by a fundamental principle: harmony between body, mind, and spirit. For them, it's not just about surviving the changes of the world, but about learning to flow with them without losing their essence. But what about the future? What do the ancient teachings say about what we are experiencing now? Shi Heng Yi teaches that in times of great transformation, there are two types of people: those who get lost in the chaos and those who find clarity in the middle of it. The modern world bombards us with information, distractions, and stimuli that pull us away from ourselves. The question is, are you aware of this? Or are you being carried along by the current without realizing it? The Shaolin masters believe that whenever humanity faces a great challenge, it is also given the opportunity to awaken to something greater. But this choice is individual. You can let yourself be driven by anxiety and fear, or you can see this phase as spiritual training, an opportunity to strengthen your mind and expand your consciousness. Technology is not the problem. The problem is how we use it. Are we becoming masters of it or slaves to its influences? The Shaolin monks carry an ancient wisdom passed down through the centuries. To them, humanity is not just a group of individuals walking randomly toward the future. There is a natural flow of evolution. And whenever humanity strays from this balance, a great adjustment happens. Master Shi Heng Yi teaches that true progress is not just in what we create in the external world, but in what we cultivate within ourselves. He says, if your mind is restless, you will be a slave to what is outside. But if your mind is at peace, nothing from the outside can dominate you. And here lies the great dilemma. Is technology making us freer or more imprisoned? The ancient sages foresaw that humanity would face a test, a moment when external progress would become so great that human beings would have two options: either awaken to a new level of consciousness or get lost in the chaos of their own creation. We are exactly at this moment. And the question you need to ask yourself is, in which direction are you going? We live in the age of total connection. Never have we been so close, yet so far apart from one another. Technology has brought extraordinary advances, but it has also taken us away from something essential: our own human nature. Social media shapes the way we think, feel, and even how we relate to one another. Artificial intelligence learns about us faster than we learn about ourselves. The overload of stimuli is creating an anxious, distracted generation that's disconnected from their own being. Shaolin monks speak of the importance of silence and presence. But how many times in the past few days have you truly been present? How many times has your mind been here and now, without being pulled by notifications, information, and constant distractions? The truth is that, as the world becomes more advanced, humanity faces an internal crisis. We are becoming dependent on technology to tell us what to feel, what to think, and even who we are. But there is something that technology will never be able to replace: the awakening of consciousness. And that is exactly what is happening now. There is a paradox unfolding right before our eyes. The more we advance technologically, the greater the search for self-knowledge becomes. As we become more dependent on screens and artificial intelligence, a quiet movement is emerging, driven by a deep desire to reconnect with something greater. In recent years, more and more people have started seeking practices such as meditation, mindfulness, spirituality, and ancient teachings. This is not a coincidence. When the external world becomes chaotic and fast-paced, we are naturally pushed inward. The Shaolin monks teach that true balance occurs when we can use the external world without becoming dependent on it. Technology, when used wisely, can be a powerful tool. But when we allow it to dominate us, we lose touch with our deeper essence. And that's exactly what's happening to many people. They feel that something is wrong, but they can't explain what. They feel anxious, overwhelmed, disconnected from themselves, as if something essential is slipping through their fingers. And then the question arises: if technology is pulling us away from ourselves, why are so many people awakening? The answer is simple: the human soul has a limit. When we feel lost, when the noise of the world becomes deafening, an internal call begins to echo. And almost without realizing it, we begin to question who we truly are beyond our digital identities. What really matters in life? Where are we heading as humanity? These questions mark the beginning of awakening. We are living in a unique moment in history. On one hand, technology advances at an unprecedented speed. On the other, the collective consciousness of humanity is also expanding. But this transition doesn't happen automatically. It requires attentiveness. We need to notice the signs. And above all, we need to make a choice: continue being carried along by the current of the modern world, or take control of our own spiritual journey. Now the question is, how can we tell if we are truly awake or just going with the flow? If we look carefully at the world around us, we'll notice that something is changing. It's not just the technological advancements or the crises that are becoming more intense. There is a change happening inside people, a quiet restlessness, a sense that we are on the brink of something much greater. More and more people are reporting a deep feeling of dissatisfaction with lives they once considered normal. Careers that once seemed secure now feel empty. Relationships that followed a predefined script no longer make sense. The fast-paced lifestyle, once seen as a sign of success, now feels like a trap. Something inside us is awakening, calling us to a different reality. At the same time, humanity as a whole seems to be going through a cycle of crises: wars, natural disasters, social and economic collapses. But if we examine carefully, we will see that these events are not just signs of destruction. They are also triggers for transformation. Pain and uncertainty have a purpose: to force us to look inward, question the system, and seek answers beyond materialism. The Shaolin masters teach that all great change is preceded by chaos. Before a lake becomes clear, it must be stirred to remove the impurities at the bottom. In the same way, humanity is going through a moment of turbulence, not to be lost, but to find a new balance. But the question remains, are we prepared for this transformation? Or will we continue trying to hold on to a world that is already crumbling? The answer lies within each one of us. In the face of this great global transformation, the most important question we must ask ourselves is, how can we find balance amid the chaos? If technology and the modern world pull us outward toward distraction and excess stimulation, what is the path to keeping our essence intact? The Shaolin monks believe the answer lies in inner discipline. In a world where everything pushes us towards superficiality, the real revolution happens when we choose to cultivate presence, awareness, and self-control. This doesn't mean rejecting technology or abandoning the modern world, but rather using it wisely without becoming prisoners to it. One of the first fundamental practices is learning to silence the mind. The overload of information creates an illusion of knowledge, but only in silence can we hear our true inner voice. Practices like meditation, contemplation, and conscious breathing help slow the mind down and create space for clarity and discernment. Another essential step is reconnecting with the real world. Spending time in nature, engaging in physical activities, forming authentic connections with others. All of this reconnects us with our true nature. Small habits like reducing time on social media, turning off the phone for a few hours a day, and choosing moments of solitude can make a profound difference in how we experience life. Additionally, it is crucial to cultivate self-knowledge. Technology can provide quick answers to any question, but it will never be able to tell us who we really are. This is an internal job that requires reflection, questioning, and a genuine commitment to our own evolution. The masters teach that the mind is like a garden. If we don't take care of it, weeds will grow and take over. But if we cultivate presence, discipline, and balance, this garden will become a place of peace and wisdom. The world will continue to change. Technology will keep advancing, and humanity's challenges won't disappear. But the real question isn't about what's happening outside. The real question is, who do you choose to be in the face of all of this? And that choice is entirely up to you. We are at a pivotal moment in human history. We've never had such easy access to information. We've never been so connected. And yet, at the same time, we've never been so challenged to hold on to our true essence. Technology, if used without awareness, can turn us into prisoners of an artificial world, distancing us from what truly matters. But if we learn to use it wisely, it can become a powerful tool for our evolution. Master Shaolin, Shi Heng Yi, reminds us that all change begins within us. We can't control the direction of the world, but we can control our own minds. We can choose to be carried away by the current of distraction and fear, or we can cultivate clarity, balance, and presence. The decision is in your hands. You can continue living on autopilot, trapped in the fast pace of the modern world, or you can take a step back and start living with more awareness. Small changes in how you use your time, how you connect with others, and the attention you give to your inner self can completely transform your life. The future is not predestined. It is created by the choices we make every day. So, the final question is, What path will you choose? If this message resonates with you, share this video with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a like and subscribe to the channel so we can continue bringing deep reflections and life-changing teachings. Together, we can awaken to a new level of consciousness and build a better future.